Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about, some of the signs that we can look for that we're training too much in terms of too much volume in an individual session. And in my experience, a lot of times we can tell purely by just a drop off in performance. That's oftentimes a dead giveaway that we are just doing too much volume in one session and we're at a point where we're not getting any benefits from it. And I want to be clear that I do think that in some cases adding volume can be a positive thing. I don't want people to think that I'm saying we need ultra low volume. I've said that we can make really good gains on pretty low volumes if we train hard enough. But we also have the problem we run into as we add volume of running into junk volume. Now, there are cases where, adding 3 or 4 sets, 5 sets for a muscle group in a week can absolutely be beneficial. It can help you gain more muscle if the training workloads are sufficient. But I get a lot of clients who've come to me who they're doing way too much volume. They've stalled. I cut them back. Some of the more extreme cases, I've cut out 2/3 of their volume. And I know that sounds crazy. Some people are just doing way too much. I've had a couple of clients where both novices and advanced lifters, where I've cut out 60% of what they're doing, or slightly more. Okay? In other words, they're doing 24 sets for a muscle and I cut it down to 10. Let's put it into perspective. After they've been stalled for a while, and they start making gains again. And I do mean, I'm talking people who have minimal base, like literally still doing rep work with 1 plate per side on the bench, and stalled and just stuck there, unable to progress. All right, so let's look at some stuff of what would we say are giveaways when you can't perform anymore. In other words, for example, let's say you're pause benching your rep work. Let's say you've done a heavy set and you back down and you do your lighter work. Now, obviously, if we do a heavy set, sometimes we can't always go as heavy. Sometimes our second or third exercise, we start losing strength. But on individual exercises, when you see a steep drop off, let's say you're using, I'm just going to throw out a number. Let's say for your heavy set, you do 275, right? You can work with 275 pounds. And you're able to get three reps with it, 3 real good pause reps. You're pretty fatigued. And then let's say you're doing back off work. And it doesn't have to be bench. I'm just using bench as an example. Okay? You're doing 185. And you're able to get a set of 10 for the second set. And you feel like you got a rep or 2 left. You go to, the next set because you've done a heavy set already. You still get 10. All right. Let's say you go for a third back off set with the lighter weight, with the 185. You get 6 reps and you feel like the set, you like, almost, I don't think I could do a 7. You go for a 7th rep and it's a grinder. Okay. I'm going to say at that point, because you had reps in reserve at the start, you almost didn't even get good training response out of that set. You got some, but now 7th is an all-out max. It's an all-out 7-rep max with a set that you just had done with the same weight you had done a couple sets of 10 with, and one of them being harder. Okay, that's it. As far as the bench goes, you're done. You might be able to squeeze one more exercise in, whether it's an incline or a dumbbell. Okay? You come in and you start doing that. Well and good. Let's say, whatever. Either one. Let's say you're using, 160 total pounds, whether it's an incline bench or a pair of 80-pound dumbbells, whatever you're doing. You're able to squeeze out 10 reps. All right, everything's good. You go to the next set. 8 reps feels crazy heavy. Your chest is probably done for the day. That's it. If you try to do any further work for your chest that day, you don't have the work capacity to get anywhere. If you try to do anything else for it, you are doing junk volume. Now, some people would say, well, I really only did 6 real work sets for my chest. Okay, and that's not enough. I mean, I recommend training muscles twice a week, usually 2, upper, lower, 4 times a week total. Well, if you do that twice a week, that's 12 sets for your chest. That's pretty good. The issue you're running into is that in order to get more out of the workout, you're going to have to take real long workouts because your breaks are going to have to get longer. Now, if that's fine with you and you don't mind spending that extra time, you might benefit from a little more work if you take some time, space it out, and recover, so you can repeat that performance. But you just had 2 exercises in a row to where your work sets regressed. Right? You're done. Okay, let's say you go over and you're going to do some triceps after, because, not a bad idea. Flat bench and incline, or flat bench and dumbbell, are not the greatest tricep exercises. They'll build triceps. You see you're doing some extensions. Let's say you can do some skull crushers and put 50 pounds on the bar, right? Do a couple sets of 12. Everything's good. Go for the 3rd set. If you can still do 11 or 12, you're probably pretty good. You might be able to get a 4th or a 5th set. Do just fine. Get good progress out of it. Make gains. But let's say you get to that 3rd set and your 12s are now turned into 9 and you're grinding on the 9th rep instead of getting the 12. Well, in which case you're probably done. Your triceps, probably done. The upper threshold fibers are not recovering set to set, the ones that are going to get the most muscle growth. Everything you do beyond that is just beating up recovery. Now, if you're able to continue to replicate sets, you can keep doing more, that's fine. You may benefit from it because we're coming over to either your previous work sets were not hard enough, so you're not fatiguing enough, you left way too much in reserve. Right? In which case you might need the extra volume just to get the good optimal muscle growth. Make sure that you're training hard enough on those early sets though. Right? Or you're at a point where your work capacity and everything is just good enough that you can do it. In which case, if you have the time and you feel like you can recover, by all means, you might be able to crank those extensions up to 6 or 7 total sets, 8 sets, whatever. As long as you can maintain the performance set to set pretty well, you probably have a little bit in reserve. Now, keep in mind, it's not giving you as much per set if you're not pushing them hard. So you need to ask yourself, is this because I'm not pushing hard enough on the first set? Or is it because my work capacity and recovery are just that good? In which case you might benefit from taking advantage of it. That's the sort of stuff that you have to ask yourself. Be mindful of your set-to-set performance and your perceived effort. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys next time.